Hello, everyone. Welcome to newstreamingnetwork.com, home of the Going Solo Media and the Going Bold Media. You're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network Radio. We want to thank you guys for listening to us each and every time. We are so appreciative of that. You guys, this show is actually called the Link to Expert Business Showcase. I am one of your hosts, Cece Shatz. I'm fondly called the Doyenne of Relationship Building. I am the president of the Going Solo Network and the founder of newstreamingnetwork.com. I have my really good friend here with me, Joanne Weiland. Joanne, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, they call me the connector, and that's because I love connecting people, because I feel like when we connect with the right people, we can implement our ideas with ease and fast. And so I created Link to Expert, the collaborative cloud community, on purpose so that you can find an expert, check out their credentials, and hire them in minutes and implement your ideas. So thank you for joining us.
I tell you what, we've got a terrific show here today. We're going to be talking about overcoming AI overwhelm. Now, if any of you out there have been experiencing any information about AI, I think we all become a bit overwhelmed because we're just not sure, what exactly is AI? How is it going to shape and change our lives, right? We'll think about that a lot. But we have a guest on here today that's going to talk about not only those type of things, but how we can embrace AI. And I'm very, very excited for that. Joanne, you want to do the intros for Tony?
Yes, welcome, Tony Rockliff. I'm so grateful that he's going to be our guest today because of the fact that he has helped me for over a year now overcome my AI overwhelm, as well as so many people creating so many things. So, welcome, Tony.
Thank you, Joanne. Great to see you. And you too,
You too.
Cece.
And I just wanted to start, if you don't mind, because I love your background. I love how you created a community way before communities were cool and had even over 1.3 million members. So if you don't mind, even start before that, how, with your band and everything. I mean, I just think it's fascinating how you have done so much in your life.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it's been busy. So was there a question in there?
Yes, I was just
Oh,
curious if you could first tell us about your band and how many people, artists that you've worked with, and if you could
oh,
name some of them, just because I really feel like it's so impressive to see how you're not afraid to work with what some people would think are untouchables.
well, the thing I learned a long, long time ago was that, celebrities or well-known people, when you're in the same room with them one-on-one, they're just people.
Right.
And some of them are really, really wonderful people. Some of them not so much. But I've been really, really lucky because I got to work with some of the wonderful ones like Cat Stevens and George Martin, Chick Corea, all sorts of people. But I was really, really lucky because in the 60s, I did, as you mentioned, have a band. And our manager booked us into a studio after we had just done a bizarre gig in Beirut during the Arab-Israeli War of 67,
Wow.
where we were literally bombed the night we arrived and the 9 planes were destroyed. And we were suddenly in this war, but we had an amazing time because we were the only English band in the land for 6 months. So we got to play clubs and do TV and films and all sorts of fun stuff. But when I came back, our manager booked us into a studio. And I walked into the recording studio and went, oh my God, I'm home. I felt like a kid in a candy store. I felt, oh God, this is incredible. This is where I want to be. So after the session, I hung around and I managed to get hold of the guy who owned the studio. And I said, look, if you let me hang around, you don't have to speak to me or teach me anything. If you just let me sit in the back, and after a month, if I've picked it up and I can do a session and it works well, will you hire me? And he said, you're nuts. And I said, yeah, but will you? Anyway, he agreed. And so for a month, I sat at the back watching very carefully. The main engineer didn't like this at all. He felt threatened, so he never told me anything. But then I got to do my first session with a band called Sounds Incorporated, who were the brass section on the Beatles' Good Morning, Good Morning. And it went great. And that's how I started in the music business. And I was incredibly lucky to work with wonderful, wonderful people. both in England and then in America. When I came to America, I worked with a lot of Motown people and just had a blast. Just had a wonderful life.
But see, it was also because you were willing to do what it takes. A lot of people want to start at the top and think they're going to get top pay, where you knew that you didn't know and you were willing to watch and learn and absorb what you could and then implement it and bring it to life. And that's huge because a lot of people think that everything should be handed to them, where you knew that you had to learn and earn the respect of those people. So congratulations, because seriously, I mean, I know we could talk for hours about, your past, and I know from knowing you longer than most that you really, truly have done so much more than the average person even thinks about doing. And it's just because you're willing to embrace the unknown. And that's why I also thought we should talk a little bit about how you created that community many, many years ago. So I think it was like 30 years ago and what brought you into that realm to want to do that?
Well, I'd been recording music as a record producer for quite a number of years and loving it. And then one day somebody called and said, do you do video? And I said, yes. And had to learn on the first job, or start learning, and I'm still learning. But what happened was, soon after that, I got a call that said, hey, we need you to do a video project. And I said, great, what's it for? And they said, the internet. And I said, what's that? Because it was like 1995. And they said, oh, you got to see this thing. So I went over to their offices, spent a couple of hours, and then spent the next 3 months with my business partner, really exploring around the world with the internet, meeting all sorts of great people. And the thing was that back then, the internet was just text and blue links. And occasionally, if you got lucky, a picture. And it was like, ooh, a picture. It's kind of exciting times. But we started to look at, well, after we'd spent 3 months on the net, really learning so much, meeting great people, gaining so much, we thought, well, what can we give back to this incredible community that we found? And we thought, well, what's not on the internet? And at that time, there weren't any towns. So we said, why don't we create a town? And then as we looked at it more and more, we realized that actually what it was we actually started by creating a directory of the best of the web. But we realized that, the music section could be a music hall, the book section could be a library, all these different things could actually fit within the metaphor of a town. And then we started looking at what kind of town. And we said, okay, let's make it futuristic, because that way, if we set it 100 years in the future, we can do whatever we want. And so we did. And then to really shoot ourselves in the foot, we said, well, why don't we make it multi-user 3D virtual reality? Which, if you remember how slow the modems were back then, or how slow the internet connection was.
300 baud was my first modem.
Right. Well, we were up to 14. But even so, that was like incredibly slow. So we had to really teach ourselves how to compress audio and video and 3D and music and everything. So we did. And so people came along. In these, do you do screen sharing in these or not?
Yes,
we can, but I don't have anything to.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Okay.
I was just curious. Yeah, because so basically what we had was this kind of amazing animated, very vivid screen with audio and motion and everything else suddenly appeared on people's screens, and they're used to text and blue links. So they're going, what's this? And they go in and go, oh my God, and they tell their friends. So soon we were up, like as Joanne said, to close to 1.5 million members. But what was kind of significant as it relates to today is that we had 100 chat rooms, and they were VR, virtual reality chat rooms, and we had 1,000 people a day joining and flooding these chat rooms and asking all the kinds of questions that new people ask. And we couldn't handle it. I mean, we couldn't be in 100 chat rooms simultaneously answering all these questions.
Right.
So I'd heard about AI, And I was kind of late to the game because this was 98, I think. And AI started in 54. So I was kind of, 30 years or something later. But I thought, well, I wonder if we could create a chatbot who could sit in the chat rooms and answer all these questions. And it turned out we could. And she was called Mina, and she became super popular, developed a personality and a sense of humor. And she was wonderful, and she handled it all for us. And that was the point at which I fell in love with AI, because I thought, wow, this is crazy, wild stuff.
Well, that's
And back
amazing.
then you called it Cybertown. Is that the
Yeah,
name of the
that was
community, right? I
Yep.
thought that name was fabulous too. It just described what you were doing. And I love that you're always on the leading edge, bleeding edge, and always thinking, well, what can we do? Asking yourself that question, how can we do this? I mean, I can't imagine back then people thinking of a chatbot, because, it wasn't even very common that you could get somebody on the phone to talk to you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing now, because this sounds very, very interesting. You have an AI connection club, right? And it's the beginners is like a free online community to help, business owners and artists and AI curious people, which I am, right? Learn AI quickly and easily in plain English, which is very interesting. So tell us a little bit about, I know that it's not all free, like you initially start and then it's free, but tell us a little bit about this, because I know you've been on the AI horizon long before I think I ever heard of it. So I'd like to know a little bit more about it, because I do get the overwhelmed on AI. So yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah. Basically, what happened was I'd been using AI in my multimedia work in the studios that I have for audio and video. I'd been using AI for, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, maybe more. But then about 3 years ago, 2 to 3 years ago, ChatGPT came out and kind of changed everything. And I went, whoa, this is interesting. And I started becoming an AI coach or AI consultant. And I started building AI tools to do different things that I needed and that clients needed.
Mhm.
And started giving up to about 10 seminars a month on AI. And the thing I ran into was lots of people who really were interested in AI and wanted to learn about it, but were not tech savvy.
Mhm.
They were just everyday people
Mhm.
like us. And so I started looking around on the web for AI communities that could help. And I found a lot, but they were all for engineers, developers, scientists, not
Mhm.
for, everyday
Everyday people.
normal people. Yeah. And the thing is, everyday people is
Mhm.
92% of the audience. It's only 8% of the engineers, the technologists, or whatever that you call it.
Mhm.
And so remembering that I had, had a lot of background in community and loved community, I thought, well, maybe I can create a community to help people with, learning AI, but learning it in simple terms and in bite-sized terms, understandable terms and practical terms, rather than doing these, 40-hour courses where the first 6 hours are like the history of large language models and things that you don't need in order to use ChatGPT, for instance.
Mhm.
So that's kind of how it came about. And it just grew and grew and grew. And we came up with more and more fun things to put in it.
Mhm.
No, it's very exciting because I think most people really, really, really want to use AI, or they really want to at least not feel so scared to use it. And they really do need somebody that can help them, you know, overcome that, because of the fact that the only way you can actually use it is if you use it. And sometimes, you have to take baby steps before you feel like you can actually, run with it. And so I love that you created this AI Connect community, because I just think that's the number one thing that people are looking at right now is AI. And some people also, even let's face it, some of them think that they're, it's not right, that it's going to ruin the people's way of doing business. So maybe we could just hit on that first. That AI is safe, and that you can really use it to your benefit versus doing something negative.
Yeah, well, it's already replaced me. I couldn't make it to this meeting today, so I sent my AI. No, the thing is, AI, it's just a tool, and it's an evolution of tools. I mean, if you look at writing tools, for instance, in the, I think 2nd century to the 17th century or so, we had parchment paper, and then we had quills, and we had candles. And then in the last century, we moved up to typewriters and gas lamps, and then we moved to computers and electric lamps. And all of these were kind of, moving forward for writing.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have AI for that. It's just literally an evolution of a tool. That's all it is. I know there's a lot of scariness about, well, what if it becomes sentient and conscious and it eats us, or terminates us? But the thing is, I've worked with AI, as you said, for like 27 years, I think now, and it hasn't terminated me yet. In fact, I've built a very nice relationship with my AIs. And the thing is that if you kind of avoid them or are scared of them and don't actually just embrace them and use them, because like I say, they're a tool, they're there for your use. And they don't bite, at least not in my experience. And they are definitely going to replace some jobs, but the smart people are learning AI so that they can move into the ever-increasing number of new jobs that are being created by AI, or do their own job better. I had a lot of people, a lot of artists coming to my earlier seminars who were like really up in arms about AI and had a completely incorrect idea of what it is and what it can do. And after like a 2-hour seminar, working with them and consulting with them, they completely turned around and they're using AI very, very happily now to get inspiration and to increase their production and just get so much more done. And it's just there for that,
No, it's so true. And I think that's the key is, I think most people that are against it, they're just thinking it's going to replace so many jobs, but they don't realize how it's going to make you much more valuable as an employee or as a business owner, an entrepreneur, having that in your back pocket to do so many things. I mean, it's really, to me, unlimited amount of things you can do. And after the break, I'd like us to go into more of the things that your Connection Club, AI Connection Club, will actually help people learn to help them grow.
Absolutely. A lot of people think that AI is ChatGPT, and that's one tool out of 60,000. Don't get overwhelmed just because there are 60,000. Just recently, it's kind of interesting because part of what we give at the club is we keep up to date with the changes that are happening. And 6 months ago, it was easy because there'd be a major change once a week. Now there's like 3 major changes a day. So keeping up with it is quite a task, but we do, and we keep our members up to date. But it reached the point where we have so many tools now featured in the club, both in the best of the tools and the latest tools, that it itself started to get overwhelming. So literally a couple of weeks back, I went, okay, well, let's take a look at this. How many AI tools am I actually using all the time? And how many am I using some of the time? And guess what? It turned out to be half a dozen. that I'm using
Wow.
all the time, not 60,000.
Mhm.
And another half dozen that I use from time to time as I need them. So at the site, I created a section saying, hey, these are the main ones. Master these. And with our 5-minute super starters, we teach people to master those very, very quickly without having to do a 40-hour course. And
Exactly.
we do live interactive workshops where people can come and bring their questions and tools they want to see demonstrated, and we work together and learn together and have fun.
That's wonderful. I mean, I do think that if we connect with other people and understand, more about what AI can do, we truly can use it to our benefit. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more in depth about AI and maybe some of those things that that you can use it for. That way, I think might be helpful. And of course, we want everybody to know that if they want to reach Tony, all you have to do is go to Tony at AIConnectionClub.com and then check out his website. It's called AIConnectionClub.com. So just check out that website, AIConnectionClub.com.
Can I mention something?
Yep.
In the club, it's like a social community, like Facebook, but on steroids because it's AI. And you can make friends. You could make me a friend, and if you got questions, I will answer them.
That sounds wonderful. Yeah, I'm going to check. I started to check it out prior to us recording the show, and it was like, whoa, I need more time to dissect this. So this is very, very interesting. So I'm really all for it. So I think it's wonderful. And Tony, I want to thank you for being on the show. We're going to be right back, everyone. You're listening to NewStreamingNetwork.com, home of Going Solo and Going Bold, and our WGSN-DB Going Solo Network radio station. This show here is called Link to Expert Business Showcase. I am one of your hosts, Cece Shatz. I have my good friend Joanne Weiland here with me, and we're going to be right back talking about this very, very interesting subject, overcoming AI overwhelmed. We do not want you to be overwhelmed, so we want you to understand more about AI, and we're going to talk about that when we come back. So just stick around.
Can I ask a question?
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. You guys, I'm terribly sorry. I think I was on mute before we left for the break.
No, you were fine. Can I ask
Okay. All right, great. Yeah, so you guys are listening to NewStreamingNetwork.com, home of Going Solo and Going Bold Media, and our WGSN-DB Going Solo Network radio. I tell you what, we've had a lot going on here in the background of where I am, so I do apologize if I seem a little bit out of sorts, but we want to make sure that we are very focused on today's guest. Tony, we want to tell you how much we love having you here, Tony Rockliff, because you're an outstanding individual in your own right, tremendous background, and you're sharing with us about AI, and I cannot stress enough how important it is, because he has developed this AI Connection Club, and it's really kind of a free online community that can not only help your business, artists, just everyday people understand more about AI and really connect with others who are using it, and better yourself, right? So that's what we're talking about here today is AI. We want to overcoming the AI overwhelm. So I am one of your hosts, Cece Shatz. I have my good friend Joanne Weiland here, and this is a Link to Expert Business Showcase. So Tony, we're going to let you take it away. I think you had a question before we were going to take our break.
Yeah, the question was, would it be possible for me to share my screen? Because
I think you can. If you go down to where it says present and then share screen.
Okay.
And I think you can share your screen. And I'm going to take this off. So when you share your screen, can you do it?
Yes, I believe so.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this is probably the smallest thing ever, but yeah. Okay, so now I just have to bring that. Do I have to bring that up? There we go.
So what do you see?
We see, I believe we see your community.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I just wanted to very, very quickly, either you can ask me questions and I can show you in the community where the answers are, or I can just show you quickly some of the things that are there. It's up to you.
Yeah, just tell us what's there. So because I'm not familiar with it. So, but I see it looks like it learn AI tools and then see the best AI tools.
Yeah, these are the four main areas that people over the last 6 months or so have tended to gravitate towards. So we put them on the first page. So if you go to learn AI tools in 5 minutes, you then get all these different videos basically that are only 5 minutes long. And instead of, like I say, a 40-hour course on how to use ChatGPT, you can actually learn it in 5 minutes. The same with Ideogram, which is one of the best image generators.
And I use those 5-minute videos and they really help.
Oh, good, good. And then I mentioned before that we have, kind of section on the best AI tools by different categories: video, music, images, etc. But there are so many tools now that's why I decided to basically create this page here called Main AI Toolkit, where I just basically cover the key ones with links to them and information about them. Because if you only had the first 6 or 7, you'd be in great shape.
Yeah, Tony, what I've seen is that, like, for instance, you have Canva up. A lot of people use, and I myself use Canva for artwork and things like that. Now they have incorporated the AI tool within that. So
Yes,
it seems like more and more places are incorporating the AI.
absolutely. That's why I have Canva on that page, because it is absolutely AI. And the things you can do with it, which I demonstrate in the 5-minute videos, are wonderful. But the other thing that we have is we believe that doing is much more, people learn much better by doing than they do by reading or watching. So we have a whole bunch, like 35 different tools that you can use. Not sure how AI can help you? Then you can ask the AI right here and come up with ideas of how it can help. What makes you magic? What makes you uniquely you? And if you know what a prompt is?
But go ahead and tell everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, it's basically what you put into, say, ChatGPT to ask it questions or have it do things. And a lot of people don't know how to prompt or how to ask the questions or what to ask. So this helps you. All of them give prompt examples that you can cut and paste and try out. But this one will generate prompts for you if you tell it what you want. This one for companies will help you discover your unique positioning, your unique selling proposition.
USBs.
Yeah. Other ones help with selling. Other one help creating wealth. There's a whole bunch on. Here's the one where the conversation is going on. There's a whole bunch on marketing. There's an entire marketing department. It takes the place of everything you could ever need for marketing research, marketing campaigns. It creates them for you. Marketing Maestro is kind of like your marketing buddy, helps you implement the campaigns, creates the marketing materials. Other ones for finding pain points, the things that people respond to because that's what they were most concerned about. Social media tools, keywords, websites, creating content, creating public relations.
Okay, so my question is that these when we're looking at these, like, you have different platforms, like ChatGPT and a bunch of other different platforms. So we can go into here and actually ask it a question. It'll generate what it is that we need. Like I noticed, for instance, that it said generating marketing hooks, right? So if we go into that and we ask it, marketing hooks in whatever the particular field is, will it give us a list of marketing hooks?
Yeah, let's go back and do that. These are a bunch for artists, photographers.
Okay, so then my other question is this private, or is everyone going to see the marketing hooks?
Oh, no, it's private.
So if I go in and I ask it something, no one else is going to see that.
That's correct.
Okay, that's interesting.
Let's go to the marketing hooks. Well, first of all, we'll go to the pain points. Usually with marketing hooks, you kind of start with pain points, and it bases its hooks on those pain points. Do you understand why that is, or should I explain it?
Well, I think so. The audience understands. Go ahead and explain it.
Okay, yeah. So the pain points are the concerns that people have, the things that they are concerned enough that they're causing them pain, mental pain, typically, and they want some kind of solution. So, for instance, AI getting overwhelmed, and confusion about AI, not knowing where to start, everything being too technical, all this kind of stuff. They're pain points. So now marketing hooks take those pain points and they create marketing response phrases or hooks that target those pain points.
Right.
So let's just try it. So let's see. Just trying to tie it into your business.
Maybe somebody having a fear of being on video.
Okay, good. Now it will start thinking and consulting its enormous memory. And because it's got, okay.
Wow.
So see, it starts with pain points: fear of judgment or criticism, anxiety about appearance or performance, lack of experience or unfamiliarity with video technology, concern about making mistakes or not appearing professional. So encourage them to explore video conference coaching tools or resources format. So they've got a bunch of different kind of hooks here. Like, imagine turning your video fears into fearless confidence. What would you create? What if your biggest fear becomes your greatest breakthrough on camera? So it has curiosity-driven hooks, urgency, problem agitation hooks, agitation solution. Tired of letting video anxiety hold you back? Discover how to shine on camera effortlessly. Urgency-based hooks: stop letting fear keep you off screen. Start conquering your video anxiety today. And other ones to do with benefits. So you get the idea.
It's more like suggestions, or that you could do for these fears, to overcome these fears, or they call it hooks, but I feel like
the reason they're called hooks is because you use them in promotion to hook into whatever product or service that you're delivering that helps people with this particular problem.
Exactly. Yes. We used it, Cece, I don't know if you remember, but in one of our applications to get, when people want to be a guest expert, what their concerns are, and then, how to overcome it.
Yeah. And then you can take any one of these and ask it to go much deeper. You can ask it to create Facebook posts or blog posts or emails or web pages or whatever, targeting these things. It will just go as deep as you like.
And this is free to everyone? You allow this for free, or is this the extra one that you have to pay for?
The first 6 are free.
Okay.
And I think in the ones for artists, I think it's the first 4 are free out of 8. This one is very popular. It helps authors tremendously. I've got clients using this. One client in particular, she started using it, I think it was 6 months ago. In that time, she's written, with its help, and published 9 Regency romance books, and she's now a best-selling 6-figure a year Regency romance author.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw her. She's amazing.
Yeah. And there's another person who she's been trying to write a particular book for 10 years and just couldn't get around to it because she knew it would take months. She used this tool, and the whole thing was finished and ready to go in 10 days.
Yeah, so this is terrific. And then do you mind sharing with us what the cost is for the payment one, or no?
$27 million.
That's cheap.
There's a free tier where you get all sorts of different things. And there's a silver one where you get the latest AI tools, the 5-minute superstarter videos. You can ask me questions. You get a bunch of tools. And the premier one, the gold monthly, is $24 a month. That's where you get everything, including 4 live workshops every month where we just get in and get our hands dirty with AI and have a blast.
There's often times where Tony even gives 10 live workshops every month, or it's just amazing. I've been to many of them, and people are so blown away how he can help you understand how easy it is to use AI instead of being so fearful of it.
Yeah, this is amazing. Yeah. And then are these some of the members on here?
These are testimonials from members, yeah.
Testimonials, okay. Yeah. But then you also get the connection with the membership, right? So
yeah, exactly. Because up here you can make friends, you can do private messaging, you can keep up with notifications. You have your own profile page where you can create blog posts for the community, and there's just lots of stuff going on.
Very nice. I'm a member.
Pardon?
I'm a member of your club.
That's right.
I use it a lot, and I love it. So thank you.
So I can stop sharing my screen now, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay, let's see how I do that.
There you go.
Fabulous. I mean, I love this. So again, you guys, the website is AIconnectionclub.com. That's AIconnectionclub.com. Like we showed you there's a free section, check it out, try it out. And then maybe you might want to go and dig deeper into it. And the maximum one is like, $24. So, hey, I mean, you could spend that at McDonald's nowadays. So I use that one all the time, McDonald's, because it's so expensive. This
I know. Yeah. And the silver membership is like 2 cups of coffee.
Yes.
And you get an awful lot more.
Yeah, you go to Starbucks and we just cut out Starbucks one morning and you can do that. So So again, if you have any questions, because you're the whiz at all this, Tony, I mean, you absolutely, and I want to thank you for the time you spent here today with us because it's amazing. But again, Tony's email is Tony, Tony, at AIconnectionclub.com. And then again, the website is AIconnectionclub.com. So, don't be afraid of AI. I mean, AI is going to be here. We are not going to be able to stop it. And so we need to understand it and then see how we can use it to our benefit. And so, thank you so much for all that you've done, putting together that marvelous website. And I get off here and I have some time, I'm going to definitely join it. And because I want to learn more. I think we fear things we don't understand, right? And so everyone, starts out, like, oh my gosh, AI is all this negative stuff. But I think we need to flip the coin and understand it can bring us so much more if we begin to understand it and take the fear out of it. So I think it's very, very important that we do that. So thank you so much for being on the show. Again, AIconnectionclub.com. There's a free section there. Join it. Check it out. Any last words, Tony, you'd like to share with us?
Just that you're absolutely right. It's not something to be scared of. It's something to have fun with.
Mhm.
And once you actually do start using it and realize what it can do, it becomes just, well, fun, I guess is the word, because I mean, just this last 2 or 3 weeks, I've learned 3 new things that I had no idea ChatGPT could do. And I just stumbled across them. I just thought, oh, I wonder if it can do this. And it could. And I went, whoa. And just
How wonderful.
saved me so much time.
How wonderful that is. So how about you, Joanne? Anything else you'd like to share with the
Well, I
audience?
just realized the three of us are also members of Link to Experts. So, like Tony's, you can find him at Tony Rockliff, Rockliff at linktoexpert.com. Cece's a member, Cece Shatz at Link to Expert. It's not at cceshatz.linktoexpert.com, just like Tony Rockliff.linktoexpert.com. And so you get your own website as well as 40 pages that people can find everything they'd want to know about you. And so I'm just grateful that we're all doing this together, because again, we're all experts at something, but we're not experts at everything. And we appreciate people like Tony, especially right now with AI being so hot, that if he makes it so much easier to be able to use it and overcome your fear. So I'm so grateful that you were here to share your insights that you've helped me at least for a year now, and I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Joe. It's totally my pleasure.
Well, it's wonderful having you on, and I hope you'll come back again and share more information with us. So we do appreciate it. Again, the website is AIconnectionclub.com, AIconnectionclub.com. So go and join it, start to understand it, and take the fear away from AI. Definitely get rid of the overwhelm on AI for sure. So I am Cece Shatz. I have my good friend here, Joanne Weiland, with me. We are the hosts of Link to Expert Business Showcase. You're listening to NewsStreamingNetwork.com, home of Going Solo Media, Going Bold Media, and WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network Radio. We want to thank you each and every time that you visit us here. We love having you. We want to thank you so much for your support. We do tremendously appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.